Time to welcome our last live guest of the day. We've got Adrian Chapman with us, who is the founder and CEO of Cover 3 Consulting. Adrian, thank you for being here today.
Having me on.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the hiring and recruiting world, but we talk about this a lot, I feel like, in kind of those base level employees, the drivers, your entry level employees.
Yeah.
We're going to focus on those higher level management C-suite today, right?
Sure.
Before we get into that, tell us a little bit about Cover 3 Consulting and what you guys do.
Sure, yeah, we're a recruiting firm in the transportation industry. We've been around for about 3 years now, and primarily, we serve three buckets. We serve the 3PL, 4PL space. We serve transportation technology, and then distribution and warehousing. So love helping people, love helping mostly, I would say, privately held organizations, some venture capital-backed firms, and then not really any publicly traded firms. But that's who we are. That's what we do.
So, Adrian, welcome to the show. By the way, nice to meet you. Let's start off with just let's set the playing field here of what has been the environment with this particular vertical, if you will, in the hiring and the employee segment, the upper level or C-suite.
I'm sorry. Could you say the question again?
I just want you to set where the trend is so we can level set where we are and where you think we might be going. So what has been the trend over the last year or so at this level of employee recruitment and hiring?
Yeah, so, a lot of it, I say at this point, is predicated based off of where we've been when it comes to COVID and how that's affected the market overall. And so when you looked at COVID, nobody was hiring anything, right? And shortly after that, we begin to see big demand, shoot up just from the marketplace. With that, there was, hey, we need to hire, whether it's hourly roles or entry level roles to kind of catch up with the demand that we do have again. And then I would say, within about 6 months, that's when we said, okay, because of that demand, we're starting to see some shakeup in the, I would say, director, executive level types of roles. Mm-hmm. And so with that, in the past, I would say, really year or so, there's been a lot of movement there. For a couple of different reasons. I would say movement because there's new challenges that we're facing in the marketplace in transportation. And then also it's been a candidate's market, meaning, you've been able to see people kind of bid up opportunities to say, hey, I can be appreciated more in the marketplace than I may feel where I currently am. And so, an executive or someone who's managing a small team really well over here may see an opportunity to do something similar and make more money elsewhere.
I think about that in terms of some of these really huge transportation companies that we've seen undergo leadership change really recently in the last few weeks or months. Of course, the one that's top of my mind is Kendra Tucker stepping into the role at truckstop.com, which we love to see. And so I kind of want to talk about these broader transportation companies and their mindset, not only from the individual employee choosing to jump ship, but maybe the company itself looking for this high quality, high caliber talent. What type of things are they looking for in their search? And has it been really difficult for these companies to attract this talent when it is still such an employee's market? They've got the power to go out and to chase the opportunities that they want.
Yeah, so I would say it is very difficult. It's a very difficult market right now because of how competitive it is currently. So, what we see is, most companies, and you heard Ann talk about this in the last segment, especially right now, you see these companies are saying, hey, we need to differentiate ourselves for a number of different reasons. And so we do need to sell and persuade clients to work with us, be it because of spot market and contract or whatever the case may be. We are typically successful because, at least in, I would say, brokerage, for instance, because we do something a little bit different. Maybe that's technology. Maybe that's, a vertical that we're successful in, food and beverage, something to that end. And we need somebody with a specific background. Well, first and foremost, with a higher level role, that pool of candidates shrinks. And then you talk about an expertise within that, and it shrinks even more. Then you think about, okay, now we're in a highly demanding marketplace, and it shrinks even more. So it's a difficult world out there, and that's why companies like Cover 3 exist. We got to go find people where they're difficult to find.
Yeah. So, Adrian, my question is you think we've entered into kind of this, like college football has entered into this transfer portal type of thing, and really COVID and the spotlight on logistics and supply chain has exposed all these other companies to all these other mindsets and go, wait a minute, there is so much more intelligence out there than we even figured, and going and recruiting that, and that's really made the twist. Is that what's going on here, you think?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, we have, because of technology, we have more visibility to what's out there. And he used the sports example there as well. I think what you're going to see is you're going to figure out what matters most to people. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what companies have to pay attention to. The reason an Alabama is really successful is, one, they're winning championships, but two, they're also getting people to the NFL. So they're getting paid more money, and then, paid more money even in college with their NIL deals. Well, think about that when it comes to transportation as well. People want to have a few things when it comes to their careers, right? One, they want to win. They want to be on a winning team. Mm-hmm. Two, they want to be developed, right? Like, I want to be developed. I want to have my skill set improved as I'm going through my career. And then while I'm doing that, I also want to make good money as well. So if I can see that because of technology, right? 20 years ago, I might have been pretty happy with, whatever this space was here in, I don't know, Dallas. But if I realize in Chicago or in Atlanta, there's these other organizations who are paying more with a better experience, and maybe I can even work remotely, suddenly all of these things matter, and people need to pay attention to all of it because all of it matters.
Adrian, I want to get your thoughts on when it comes to women stepping up into these senior management and then higher upper level management executive roles as well. There's been a pretty big increase in women entering the transportation industry as a whole, but that number significantly drops off when you leave that first entry level management position and then start looking at your vice presidents, your executive roles, your C-suite roles as well. Do you guys do any work in trying to push women into those higher level roles and really get that encouragement behind them and saying, you know what, no, go for it, apply for that CEO role, apply for that COO role?
Absolutely. I think it's a huge opportunity for women in transportation right now. And I say that because you see an influx of new talent, a female talent into the transportation industry right now. And with that influx of talent, you begin to see, as maybe people are retiring or there are new opportunities or just growth within organizations, there is opportunities that there has never been before in the transport for a variety of reasons, whatever those may be. And absolutely, there's been opportunities for us to step in and say, hey, go for it. If not now, when? And so being able to see women step into those roles has been, one, incredibly encouraging, but I also think really needed as well from a perspective standpoint. They're going to bring so much just perspective and insight that we need in transportation moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. More diversity in the eyes is always a good thing. Looking forward into this possible recession, right? Freight recession that we're going into. I mean, things are definitely declining. There's no doubt about it. How far it goes, anybody's real guess. We don't know what's going on in China, and because that's such an opaque situation over there. But do you feel, or have you seen a decline in this hiring practice, or do you think that this difficult times actually increases the pressure to bring in that better ideation or leadership?
Yeah, I'll leave maybe the deep analytical dive to the Freightonomics guys right over there. But, from my end, just economically speaking, there's always these waves, right? And so with less demand from consumers, there's higher freight inventories, and that means less freight movement. And if there's less freight movement, that means less profit for transportation firms. And so for us, typically what that means is a couple of things. Mm-hmm. It's more, at least right now, with the numbers that I've seen, I see more of just kind of a slowdown. For us, at least in the moment, it goes from, hey, we've had to fill a ton of operational type roles recently. And now with this, it's more of a sales role because if there's less freight moving, we need to find ways to get freight moving so we can make more money. And so sales roles kick up in a big way. Companies want to still continue to grow, so they can do that through a few ways: sales, cost savings, or mergers and acquisitions. And so I think we'll see a little bit of that in the upcoming months here as well.
That makes sense. The shift to what the need is, and right now it's grab market, retain market, sales, marketing roles, that type of thing makes perfect sense. Thank you so much, Adrian.
Adrian, it was great to have you on today. If people want to get in contact with you guys at Cover3, where can they go to do that?
You can find me on LinkedIn, or you can go to our website, www.cov3consulting.com.
Awesome. We will talk to you again soon. Right now, we're going to toss it over to the wall once again.